Bridge Meadows. So Fraser, please do the honours. Who have we got with us now?
Yeah, we've got flown especially back from Australia, Rob Edwards, who's obviously Haverfordwest Chairman. It's a vital time of the season. January's just finished, a couple of new faces through the door, and obviously we're going into phase two off the back of a great win for Haverfordwest last week. So firstly, let's get the important question out of the way. Rob, have you adapted temperature-wise since coming from down under?
Just a little bit. I think it's about a 34-degree drop in a matter of a day or so. But I'm London through and through. We're used to our 7-8 degrees, so I'm right back in my comfort zone now.
But I know you were actually still out there when this came through. Obviously, phase one, we've talked about maybe a little frustrating in terms of just missing out on that top six place again, but tremendous boost now going into phase two. The way it worked out, having that rearranged game, obviously with Connah's Quay and beating them.
Yeah, no, it was a great result. I think we've had it in us, and we've had it in us all season to not just have good performances, which we've done against the better teams, but take points off them. We have done really in the couple of years that I've been in charge. We've not been scared to take on the bigger teams, and circumstances probably weren't too favourable for Connah's Quay. But you look at the squad that they had available. There's seasoned Cymru Premier players in there. There's players that have been there when they won the league. And it was just a gutsy performance, a lot of quality. Obviously, you don't need to say anything about the first goal. I think just instinctive flick from Henry, and he's turned and swung a foot out, and it's gone 25 yards. He'll probably never hit one like that again. But no, it shows that's the frustrating bit. We've obviously beaten a good team with a good performance, and we know we have that in us. We're just for a number of reasons we haven't been able to do that consistently, and that consistency is what gets you into the top six. You look at Newtown; they had such a bad run at the start of the season, but went on a 6 or 7 wins in a row and brought themselves into it. Have they really performed better than us through the season? Probably not, but they just seem to get results. So no, positive in the fact that we've been able to finish that first phase strongly and put ourselves into 7th place going into the last 10 games, which is really important psychologically as well. But also, just the frustrating bit, as we said, we know we can beat these teams, and if we're in the top 6, we'd have given them a right good go in the second half of the season.
I know Gore's got a couple of questions now on the new signings, Jack Lee and Oscar Borg, so I'll pass him on after this. But just the 2 deals you did, were they deals that you'd lined up long before this January window?
Yeah, we tried to sign Jack Lee last January and again in the summer, but I think there's a lot of working parts at professional clubs. You've got agents, you've got a number of people working within the academies at some of these clubs. So it was a sort of 4 or 5 people had to come to the same conclusion to get him in. But no, he's someone we've watched for a while. As I said, there was opportunity in January last year, but didn't quite materialise. I think looking at other places for him to go, but I think you look at these performances in the under 23 setup at Cardiff and some of the goals he scored, and how you see the messages of him leaving Cardiff on loan to come to us. I think you see a lot of positive messages from Cardiff fans as well. The session on Friday, obviously we weren't able to do. We didn't do too much first session, but I think you can already see he's got good quality, and Oscar's someone that. Contact of Tony's for a while. I think we started talking to him in around November time. He came down just before January, and obviously signed in clearance and available in the squad now. So there was never going to be wholesale changes. I think we did quite a bit last January because of change of manager and obviously coming in starting the season with quite a small squad. I think when you look at the players that are coming back from injury, there's a huge amount of quality in there. We just need to get them all on the pitch at the same time, which we're in a position now where I think Tony's probably going to have to leave a senior player out come Saturday, which we haven't really had to do very often. So he'll have a decision to make, which is a good thing. But no, there's good strength in the squad. We knew that when we came into the start of the season, so there was never going to be too much going on around this time. But they're a lot of left-sided defender, not many of those around, technically really good. And Jack plays anywhere across the sort of top 4 really. So it gives us good versatility, technically very good, quick, loves a screamer as well, so he'll fit right in.
Good.
Yeah, Rob, we're in 7th place at this moment in time. Obviously, it's the split now. You've just been talking about that. Are you confident that Haverfordwest now, with the result we had last week, great result, can they take that on board and push on and stay in that 7th spot and push on for a European place come the end of the season?
I think
Do you
so.
think
I
they
think
can
this
do
is the
it?
best opportunity we've had in the last few years. I think the result will definitely spur us on. Shows that we can beat the better teams in this league. As I said, we've got players coming back from injury. We had a few available against Connah's Quay that weren't available for a number of weeks before. And really, no disrespect to the other clubs, but I think we've got the best squad in that bottom 6. And going in with that buffer, I think a win on Saturday will set us up really nicely then for the remaining games. See a huge one on Saturday. We can beat Connah's Quay, that's great, but we need to follow that up with wins against teams in that bottom 6. I think if we win 6 of our last 10 games, I think that should be enough. But yeah, I think we're all confident. We'll see it as something that we really have to achieve, and it's a great opportunity that we're in to be able to do that.
Yeah, the guys are all focused, obviously, to do that, Rob. It's great to see players like Henry Jones back, Corey Shepherd back. We did miss them in the early parts of the season. They just got that quality, that extra quality. No disrespects to the boys that play, because they did a job as well. But I think the team, if we can get everybody fit and well and playing, is good enough to beat anybody in the Welsh Premier, which they have proved, albeit TNS, but we beat them last season anyway, so it'll count for this season, Rob. So yeah, I'm quite optimistic. I think you've done a terrific job down there. It's the atmospheres down there has changed as well, Rob. It's good to see the crowd getting behind the boys. That's what you're branding it as, a Pembrokeshire football team, and that's what it should be. Local clubs should be getting behind Haverfordwest County and supporting the Bluebirds in their quest to play at the highest level in Welsh League football. So I applaud the job that you've done, Rob, since you've come in as well. I don't mean to give you too much of a big head before you come off, but you have done a great job, and it is appreciated by the people down in the Bridge Meadow and the fans. So let's hope that we can push on now and get into that European place. I'm sure with everybody behind it, the team, they can do a job. I don't know what your feelings are on that.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate the obviously the big head. You can come in with an idea, but ultimately it's up to the people that work down at the ground, the volunteers, the on and off field, the board that support me. I mean, it's definitely something I could never be anywhere close to doing on my own, particularly from where I am. And obviously we've got a chief exec who will start officially in March, but is already getting her feet under the table. So I think you'll see a huge impact in terms of the way Matchday operates, innovative ideas that come out of the club. You look at governance, you look at kind of strategic thinking. I realise that I can't run it from here, especially with the club growing and moving into to training a bit more next season, and hopefully fighting for European places and winning trophies and developing a lot more off the field. It's definitely creating a bit of a monster down there, and it's definitely not something that can be managed from afar. So having someone with a skill set coming in and complementing the hard workers that are already down there and believe in what we're trying to do. So I think you can definitely see, it's great for me as well to see so much engagement with fans. We've got flags and drums and ultras and away fans and all sorts going on down there. So the atmosphere is great, and look, appreciate you guys working with us closer on the match day experience as well. That also makes a real big difference. So yeah, look, we're trying to create a place where people can come and enjoy a day out first and foremost. But if we can back that up with good performances on the pitch like we did on Tuesday, there's no reason why attendances won't continue to grow and attract more younger fans in, which we have done over the last couple of years.
What would European football mean to the club commercially and financially, Rob? If obviously the obvious for the players, the experience of playing, it would be superb, and the fans, but would it open up more opportunities in those departments as well?
Yes, it's massively lucrative. To just qualify, obviously, if you start thinking about winning ties, then obviously that becomes a different story. I think, it does mean that there's additional investment to be able to take the club forward. I think it's the ambition since I came over. I think if we do qualify from a personal point of view, I can sleep easier. It's a great opportunity for the players. It's a great carrot for players and coaches to be able to play in Europe or compete to qualify for European competition. I think it's definitely going to help with the attraction of players going forward. So for many reasons, it's a huge thing, and it'll only be the second time the club has ever done it in its history. So it'll be a real achievement for everyone involved to do it. And obviously, there's commercial factors alongside that as well.
Yeah. And in terms of the format, I've already spoken to you about this before, Rob. And obviously, it's futile complaining about it. Every club is in the same boat. Everyone knows the structure at the start of the season. It's a model that's actually similar in the Scottish Premiership, I believe, as well. But what's your thoughts on the process and the split, so to speak? Would you just obviously 12 teams is probably too little just to play everyone twice and leave it at 22 games. Would you rather play everyone 3 times? You're one of these people who thinks that the split does bring a bit more frenzied excitement towards the tail end of a season.
I think when you're in a position where teams are going into the split with a chance of getting in the top 6 and with a European space to play for in those last 10 games, I think it does create an element of excitement. I think the structure of the league is something that I think everyone I've ever spoken to since I've been down has got their opinions on how it should be. Should it be 16 teams play each other twice? Should you bring it down to 10 teams? Do we do regional and then bring into and split that way? Like the thing is, I think the structure works at the moment, but for the league to develop, I don't think the structure is necessarily the be all and end all. I think the fact that there's very little money coming into clubs, because I guess the draw of the league is not what it can be, and there's a strategic review underway at the moment with the FAW, which is a plan to change all of that. But right now, I don't think the league it can support 16 teams financially. There is that tedium of playing each other potentially 4 times. If you've got cup games, you could play teams 6 times. But I think the format in it does create an element of excitement. I think if there is still something to play for in that bottom section as there is now, and you look, I think there's only 6 points between 11th and 7th. And with everyone playing everyone, it's I think the championship's pretty much tied up. So there's probably not going to be so much to play for in that top end. But I think in our section, there's 2 or 3 weeks can turn that section on its head. So I think it does create an element of excitement, but how the league goes going forward, that could change. But that's based on many factors, mostly sort of the value of the league really, and how it can be moved forward, kind of professionally, but also from a commercial point of view. And that's something that is underway at the moment, and all clubs are a part of. And it's an exciting time for the Welsh leagues to have the capacity to have these discussions and have the willingness from the FAW to invest in the league to take it forward. So I think the next 12 months are going to be really interesting for the league and will sort of shape where we go longer term.
It's interesting.
What structure would you like personally, Rob? I know the FAW have been carrying out these reviews. They're travelling north, south, east and west. What you've finished pretty much in the same place in the last 2 or 3 years. What would be the best thing for you and for the sustainability of the league, and try and actually draw fans in? Because that seems to be the major pitfall, is that each club is only drawing in a couple of hundred fans each week.
I think some clubs blame that on the fact that they're playing clubs too many times, but I'm not really sure about that. I just think the draw of the league it's been underinvested and underappreciated, I think, for a long time. And to be honest, I've said this in meetings with the FAW, I couldn't have picked Jonathan Ford out in a 2-person lineup. I had no idea what he looked like. I knew nothing about him. In 12 months, he was the CEO of the FAW. I think what you've seen from Noel Mooney is, whether you agree with everything he said, he's visible and passionate about trying to change the league. So that's a real massive step forward. And I think from my point of view, I've gone into this process with obviously my ideas and opinions on how I think the league should be run. But I think the review process has been done so well that whatever the outcome, I think I'll support it. Whether it's 16 teams, whether it's 10 teams, whether it's regional, whether it's less cup competitions, more cup competitions. I'm just focusing on Haverfordwest trying to be one of the best clubs in Welsh football in the next 3 to 5 years. Whatever the format looks like, if we do that bit, we'll compete no matter how many teams are in that league. But I think the process has been very thorough and been really open to all clubs. Whatever they decide going forward, I would back, because it's I think what they've done is in the best interest of the league. Every club will have their own benefits, their own opinions on what things should be, but I think when you've seen the work that's gone into it, and we'll go into it the next 12 months, we'll just have to back whatever the outcome. But as I said, my priority is driving Haverfordwest forward on and off the pitch, and if we do that, we'll compete in no matter what the format is and no matter what teams are in there with us.
And well, we're coming up to this split. You lost to Cardiff Met on the last game of the season, which cost the 7th spot. Is it just all guns blazing, win going into the end of the season?
Yeah, look, we've got good momentum off the back of last week. There's a lot in our favour. Obviously, last season was we weren't actually playing for Europe in that playoff. I think it was a Scottish Challenge Cup that
that's the one,
was at that point. But now we have our 4th space back. This it's just a massive carrot and something. So we've not had an opportunity like this so far in the last, my almost 3 years, and a good number of years before that. We'll not have a better opportunity to qualify for Europe than we have done, or we have this season. So it's everyone wants it. You look at the interviews from the players and managers over the last few weeks of sort of 7th being a possibility, and Europe is always mentioned. So we're certainly focused on it, and everyone's geared up for taking that chance.
I got to ask it, mate, Rob. No big striker through the door, though.
No, there's unfortunately, I was looking for that big striker tree. Unfortunately, we weren't able to find it. Everyone's looking for the same thing. I think if you had a 6'4", 25 goal a season striker, he wouldn't be very long. Where we are, we have to work with what we've got, and I think I'm really happy with the squad we've got. If someone knows any 6'4", certainly consider.
Well, I spent a lot of last week getting fired up by angry North Walians on Twitter because I suggested Wales 20 shouldn't have been playing in Colwyn Bay, so I was relieved to see Rob having
there as well on the comments,
having a bit of aggressive dialogue as well on there. Didn't it feels quite so lonely.
I can't help myself.
No, it's great. It's passion for our local club, and as Gordon said, the boys are there, and with a performance like they had against Quay, get behind the boys. Go down to the Ogilvy Road Stadium.
And I'm not serious now. I've joked there about Rob because I'd seen a tweet on there where someone said it. It's fans at least taking an interest, isn't it, in having an opinion, even if it's a wrong one.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, Rob, we're looking forward to meeting Georgina, the new chief exec, when she comes into post fully in the next couple of weeks. And we're looking forward to watching the exploits away in Connah, is that right?
Yep,
away on Saturday,
away on Saturday. So safe travels to the team as they head up there, and we'll be keeping a close eye in the run up in these final games, and hopefully a playoff for Europe and beyond at the end of it.
10 to go.
10 to go. Rob, thank you so much, and we'll keep in touch, no doubt. I know that Bill's been chatting with Tony, who watches who listens to Purist Radio.
He's only living upstairs.
Listening to some constructive feedback from a return again left back for Broadhaven. So I've got all the knowledge that I need. But Rob, thank you so much, and we'll no doubt speak to you again before the end of the season. And good luck to all the boys, particularly those that are coming back from injury, and the 2 new ones as well. So there's a lot of excitement going into the second half of the season. So keep up the good work.
Thank you, pleasure. Good to speak to you guys.
Thanks, Rob.
Cheers, Rob.
Mate.
We're going to take a short moment. We're going to stick with football though. There was some cup results, Gordon. We're going to look through. Gordon was at pretty much all of them, and we'll come back with a word on football. How did your football team do? And let us know. You can contact us 01437 764455 on the WhatsApp. And we'll be back. You're listening to the Pure Sports Show with Eaton-Evans and Morris Solicitors.
Pure West Sports Show, sponsored